Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at integrals of trigonometric functions, specifically ones that aren't just a single trigonometric function, but rather a product of them. So in this section, we're going to look at the integral of sine of 7x times sine of 3x evaluated from 0 to pi over 2. So this might be a little bit more difficult because in a single trigonometric function, it's pretty easy to evaluate that. We've learned those. But this product, where do we move from here? And the idea is to reduce it to a simpler problem. We already know how to evaluate trigonometric functions, the integrals of them, when we just have a single trigonometric function. So let's use our identities to get us to that step. So what identity do we have that can help us here? Well, we know that sine of ax times sine of bx is just equal to 1/2 cosine of ax minus bx minus cosine of ax plus bx. And in this case, a is just 7 and b is just 3. And so what can we do here? We plug it in and we have a much simpler term because it's a cosine, not times anything. Again, and another cosine, not times anything. And we know how to evaluate those integrals. So let's put this into our integral. We have the integral from 0 to pi over 2 of sine of 7x, sine of 3x dx, equaling 1/2, which we pulled out, the integral of cosine 4x minus cosine of 10x. Now look, it's also evaluated from 0 to pi over 2. That's because this is an identity. This isn't like a u substitution where we have to relook at our bounds or anything like that. The bounds will stay the same because we're just changing the inner term. The dx, it's still a dx over here. We haven't changed it to a du. So now we have this integral. And you may say, okay, that's easy. The integral of cosine is sine. There's some terms because of the 4x, but if you look at it and you're like, okay, we know it's sine. And we know sine of 0 is equal to 0. And because of how we integrate, we'll have a sine of a 4x and a sine of a 10x times some constants. And sine of 4x evaluated at pi over 2 is just going to be a multiple of pi. Similarly, sine of 10x. And that multiple of pi, sine of any multiple of pi, is also going to be 0. So both of those values are 0, so the whole integral is equal to 0 as well. There's no need to go through all the specific calculations if you understand the concept behind this, which is just sine of a multiple of pi is 0. And so hopefully you see, let's take this complicated product, let's use an identity to get to simple trigonometric functions, and then evaluate. And hopefully your knowledge of trig will make this problem not too bad. Have a great day.